Hello everyone, hope you're all well. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another PS5 and this one is one that we purchased from one of our customers. So if you do have a faulty PS5 or Xbox Series or even a PS4, we can purchase faulty consoles from you. So simply go to consoletherapy.com, enter your details and we will we'll send you a quote within a few hours. We will then arrange collection of your console if you are in the UK. That will be all included in the price. And then as soon as we receive your faulty console, we will make payment within 24 hours. Anyhow, let's have a look to see what is wrong with this one. I believe it is the no power issue. Let's just plug the power in. Give me a couple of seconds and then let's try powering it on, and it is completely dead. So absolutely nothing from the power button, nothing from the eject button. So let's get it open and have a look to see what's going on.
For your Xbox and PlayStation repairs, visit consoletherapy.com.
So here we go. Let's get the top off and see these. On this one, good news, it hasn't been opened. Now, the customer we purchased it from said to us that it just powered off one day, right? It was working fine and then just powered off and never powered on again. So sounds like it might be the power supply, or it's obviously a shortage component on the board or a faulty IC somewhere. So let's get it open, let's get to the motherboard, and then we can do some initial testing to see what is going on. You've seen lots of videos on, I'm sure, on how to actually take apart a PS5, so I will fast forward through that bit to make it a little bit easier. Right, so now we can get access to the board. What we need to do is measure if we're getting 12 volts, and then we can measure a few places around the board to see if we're getting like the 5 volt rail and the 3.3 volt rail. So let me pop up my multimeter. Then let's grab some power and the multimeter leads. So pop some power into the board, grab our leads, and then we can start measuring what we've got. So black probe anywhere on ground, that will work, and then measure over here, which is a 12 volt rail, and we should get, if we pick the right one, the one on the left, 12 volts, which we do, which is good. Up here we should have 5 volts, just this little transistor IC up here, and we need to touch the top pin. We should get 5 volts, but we don't. This top one here on this little one down here should be 3 volts or 3.3 volts. So there's nothing here. Over here should be 12 volts. Yep, good. This should be 12 volts down here. Yep, but we're not getting any other voltages apart from the 12 volts, which is interesting, right? So nowhere on the board is there anything other than our 12 volts. Okay. All right, so next step then, no, nothing. Right, so next step then is we'll pop out the motherboard and then we can start testing from the other side. Right, with our motherboard out, we can do a little bit more testing. I'm just going to pop my multimeter into continuity mode, because what I want to do is just check some of the fuses around the board. Let's grab our leads, and I'm just going to go around quickly and check these fuses. You'll see them because they've got an F number next to them. So this one's F5401. I believe this is for the optical drive, right? So this shouldn't be blown. If I can see what I'm doing. That one's good. That one is good. This one here is one of the power rails, right? So let's just make sure that one's good, that one's good. F7502 is good as well. So next step, what we can do, we can get our bench power supply and just check the boot sequence of the motherboard. Right, so what we'll do, we'll apply power with our bench supply, and then we will see what the actual boot sequence looks like. So let's just bring that up on the screen. We are going to grab our connectors, so ground, or neutral and positive I should say. On to the power supply, we're going to give it 12 volts, right? And what we should see is down here on our meter, what you should see under current, it should jump up to around 350 milliamps, right? That current one, and then it should drop back down again to around about 0, right? So when we apply the power. So let's try doing that now in 3, 2, 1. Gets to 12 volts, and you don't get any boot sequence. See, that current still remains as 0. Doesn't drop down, doesn't drop up, it stays absolutely static, so it's not drawing any power at all. Right, so let's turn that power off. Now, what that does indicate is, might be one of the fuses. We'll check the fuses, probably are okay. It could be a frozen or faulty BIOS. So this is the BIOS IC up here, right? So that itself could have an issue as well. So what I think we will do first of all, we're going to take this BIOS IC off, and then we'll put it into the programmer and see if we can read that BIOS chip. Hopefully we can, because we need some of the codes from it. And then we can, if it is, I don't know if there's part of it faulty, we can probably replace the chip. It might just be frozen, right? Sometimes what I've seen is removing this chip, letting the board settle for a while, right? Removing the battery, the CMOS battery, and then put it back in again, and then reinserting the chip does actually fix it, kind of springs it back to life again, right? So let's get that chip off and get it into the reader. Right, so really quick update. I removed the BIOS IC, I put it into the programmer. It's reading absolutely fine, right? So I can read all the data off. I actually loaded the BIOS file onto another BIOS chip, put that back on, and it actually made no difference whatsoever. So I don't actually think the BIOS is corrupt. So what I'm thinking more of now is that it's actually this IC, which is the Southbridge, right, which is causing us an issue. We can quickly buzz around to see what readings we get from it. So let's do that quickly. So with our meter in diode mode and our red probe on ground, we're just going to read some of these resistors and capacitors. Obviously, because it's a BGA chip, we can't actually get underneath the chip to read the points on the chip. So we'll just go and read the resistors, right? That should be around 0.49, so it's not too far off. Down here, we should have a reading of about, let me just check on my list, 0.5, so that is a little bit lower. Down here we should have a reading of 0. I don't know if that's correct actually, but this one's definitely not correct, right? So this side should be around 0.5, 0.48, right? So that is definitely not correct, and that side should be certainly higher than 0.0, right? So pointing more towards the Southbridge. Let's just quickly spin around and then just check this side of the board as well. Now, one of the capacitors that I normally go for, inductors that I normally go for, is this one here. So that should be about 0.5. And again, that's too low. And certainly that side that's too low as well. I think that's an inductor, not a capacitor. Right, so it is pointing to, it could be a Southbridge issue, right? So we know it's not the BIOS IC, so we tried that. So let's try replacing the Southbridge. Right, there we go. So sorry if that was out of focus for you for a little while. I do have to get the heat gun right above the Southbridge, so it can be difficult to get it on camera. What I like to do is preheat. You probably would have seen me preheat the board underneath before I actually apply heat to the top. It just makes the process of when you're applying heat to the IC just go a little bit quicker, right? Because you know, it can get damaged. Right, so let's let that cool down for a little bit and then we'll give it a clean up and see what we've got. Right, here we are back on the overhead camera. So let's check to see if we now get our boot sequence. So making sure we've got our polarity around the right way. Yes, we do. So we are going to, from the bench power supply, apply 12 volts to the motherboard and we should see a boot sequence, hopefully. So if you look down here, look at the currents box, that should jump up to around 300 milliamps and then drop back down again. So let's try applying the power in 3, 2, 1. Yes, we get boot sequence. There you go, 300 milliamps and then drops back down again. Perfect, that's exactly what we were looking for. Right, so up next is I need to clean up the entire board, sort out this dry spot on the APU with some liquid metal, sort all that out, give everything a clean up, then I'll put it back in the chassis and we'll give it a proper test. Right, so there we go, everything just temporarily put back together again. Let's see if we get any lights or power. 3, 2, 1. Yes, we do, we get a blue light. Brilliant. Right, let's see if we get any video output. It is just booting up now. Doing a reboot. Still blue flashing light. And then we have video output. Right, so it's just obviously rebuilding and repairing the console. Brilliant. Right, let's get everything put back together properly. Right, so there we go, all put back together again. So thanks very much for watching the video. As I say, if you are interested in selling us your faulty console, please visit consoletherapy.com and pop in a few details and we will send you a quote within a couple of hours of how much we will pay for your faulty PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 or Xbox Series consoles. As I say, we do collection from anywhere in the UK as well. Right, so thanks very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up. It really does help us out. It tells YouTube that this is a good video and it will share it with more and more people. Please share the video with any friends and also please consider subscribing to the channel. We're posting videos now every week, so you should get notifications as well as soon as we post a new video. So that's it from me this week. Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.